Celebrations were held in Gaza and Israel Wednesday after the announcement that Israel and Hamas had agreed to a 6-week ceasefire and hostage deal. But now Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has postponed a cabinet vote to approve the ceasefire, which is opposed by some far-right members of Netanyahu's government. Netanyahu has said Hamas is demanding last-minute concessions, but Hamas has denied the claim. Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani outlined part of the deal on Wednesday.
Qatar, the Arab Republic of Egypt, and the United States are happy to announce the success of joint mediation efforts in order to reach a deal between the parties of the conflict in the Gaza territory to exchange prisoners and hostages and a return to a prolonged truce that achieves a permanent ceasefire between the two sides, in addition to an agreement for the delivery of large amounts of humanitarian relief and aid to the Palestinian brothers in the Gaza Strip.
President Biden said the deal is based on the ceasefire plan he outlined last May. In recent weeks, the Biden administration worked with representatives from the incoming Trump administration to negotiate the ceasefire deal, which is scheduled to begin on Sunday, the last full day of Biden's presidency. Under the terms of the deal, Hamas would release 33 Israeli hostages over the next 6 weeks, with the first hostages being released on Sunday. In exchange, Israel will release 1,000 Palestinians imprisoned in Israel over the 6-week period. The deal also calls for Israel to pull back its troops from populated areas of Gaza and for Israel to allow 600 aid trucks into Gaza a day.
This comes as authorities in Gaza say Israel's killed at least 81 Palestinians over the last 24 hours. The official death toll in Gaza is nearing 47,000. But just last week, the Lancet Medical Journal said the actual toll may be 40% higher. We're joined now by Shrouq Aila, an independent journalist and producer in Gaza. Her husband, the journalist Roshdi Siraj, was killed in an Israeli airstrike in October of 2023. He ran Ain Media, which Aila now heads. In 2024, Aila received the International Press Freedom Award from the Committee to Protect Journalists. Welcome back to Democracy Now!, Shrouq. If you can start off by talking about the response on the ground to the announced ceasefire, even though the Israeli government has now put off a cabinet vote on it.
Hey, Amy. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me today. I'm happy to share this with you today over the news of yesterday, of the announcement of the ceasefire. You know, it's just an announcement. It's not officially happening on the ground. The effect of this is gonna take place on Sunday. But even though the people here are celebrating, they are happy that there is, you know, a baby step for their healing process, for going forward, like in the future, which is, you know, it's just all about the uncertainty. So I can tell the feelings here is such a mix of feelings. You can see people smiling and crying at the same time.
We can hear you fine, Shrouq. We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Sorry, the power went off. So what I was talking that all of the people were celebrating and crying at the same time. This is a moment that all of us, like plus 2 million people, have been waiting for this moment, for this announcement, and yet we believe it's still, we have like 2-3 days left to be killed, and the bloodshed is not stopping since the announcement until this moment. Plus 70 people got killed. Massacres are everywhere, especially in the northern part of the Gaza Strip. We were able to hear the bombardment that happened in the north, even in the south and the central part of the Gaza Strip. Some people in the West Bank, they also hear those high explosion, those high explosions in the north. But I can tell you that people are happy, and also they are, that mix between heartbreak and relief. So this is exactly what we are living, because there's that sense of uncertainty of the future. Nobody knows what the future holds for him or her, especially those who are displaced now and waiting for the implementation of this ceasefire, so they can return to their homes, or what left of their homes in the north. So there is that kind of uncertainty. You cannot guarantee, or you cannot decide what do you want, and it is I can give it from a personal perspective as well. I'm part of this society. I'm a story as the stories of this society as well. So but at least we are so grateful that we reached this moment, and there is a step forward, and there is a ceasefire, and hopefully it will last more, and it will be really implemented on the ground.
Shrouq, could you respond, though, to the fact that the Netanyahu government has now delayed a cabinet vote on the ceasefire? Are you confident that it will still go ahead?
Despite the delays that happens by the Netanyahu's government, I still believe it will happen. And we are on the track, and we have seen this before. It happened. That is because of the pressure of the President Trump, and it's been almost over 1 year under the presidency of Biden, and not having on the ground to stop this madness. But by expecting the presidency of Trump, this is a real step here that all of us are seeing, and the President Trump, he already brought pressure on both sides, the Israelis and the Palestinians as well. So I believe those delays that Netanyahu is trying as much as he can to get advantage of whatever moment or minute left for him in the government. But yeah, I think we are on the track, and we are going for the implementation of the ceasefire.
Shrouq, I want to play an extremely emotional clip. While reporting from Gaza on news of the ceasefire yesterday, the Al Jazeera journalist Anas al-Sharif took off his helmet and vest like you're wearing, that's marked press, while he was on air. This is what he said.
ممكن أن نخلع هذه الخوذة ميادة التي أرهقتني طوال هذه الفترة.
Now I can take off this helmet that was weighed on me, and also this vest that has been part of my body throughout this long period.
والذي كان على مدار الوقت يرافقني والآن نعلن هنا من.
And now we are announcing from inside Gaza City, this news, a ceasefire for the citizens and the whole population of Gaza that has faced a genocidal war, has faced bombings, explosions, and forced displacement.
إلى القصف وتعرضوا إلى التهجير وتعرضوا إلى النزوح في هذا الموقف وفي هذا المكان.
In this place where I am standing, I will dedicate this to Ishmael Al-Ghul, who would be standing here in my place announcing this news. To pay tribute to our colleague Ishmael Al-Ghul, we remember our colleague Rami Al-Rifi, we remember our colleague Samir Abu Daka, Hamza Dahdu, and also our precious friend who was always holding the frame, Fadi Al-Wahidi.
Al Jazeera journalist Anas al-Sharif soon put his press vest and helmet back on. He then posted on X, quote, "An hour ago, I was documenting the joy of the people of Gaza over the news of the ceasefire, but the Israeli occupation, as usual, continues to commit massacres and kill joy in people's hearts," as he dealt with a number of people who had been killed soon after in Gaza. Shrouq Aila, as we wrap up, your final thoughts from Gaza. In this first period, if this does go through, you're expressing the thoughts of what most people are saying now, that even with the Israeli delay, that it will go through. The first phase, 33 hostages to be released, 3 female hostages on day 1, 4 more on day 7, 26 more over the next 5 weeks. In exchange, Israel will release around 1,000 Palestinians and allow the entry of 600 trucks carrying humanitarian relief into Gaza daily. What this all will mean.
Well, it means that for us, as we are displaced here, like over 1 million people are displaced in the southern part of the Gaza Strip, and even those who are living in the north, for example, they are already displaced in other parts because of that. You know, the lots of the evacuation orders that the army issued several times, and they are still issuing this, and they already issued the an evacuation order before the announcement in 2 hours. So it is a moment of realization for all of us. Like eventually we are getting more close to that moment, to be firstly accepting the reality of that there is another war that is just waiting for us after this war, because of there is the war of uncertainty, there is the war of rebuilding, the war of the people who already left us, and the memories that we left as well. So, and you know, like the majority of the people in Gaza are struggling with grief, trauma, and other, you know, other psychological aspects. And I can say that having this step, it will be a real action for us, like to do something. It's been like almost 15 months of being on hold, everything, like our feelings, our days. Like I can tell, like today, I'm feeling that I'm getting back to the 8th of October. So the genocide started on the 7th of October. We have never seen the 8th of October till the moment of the announcement of this ceasefire. So I can tell that now we are still stuck back with 2023, the 7th of October, and we're living now the 8th of the 7th of the October. That means that how time is stopped with those people here because of agony. They are singing in agony and grief over everything, literally everything. What I mean, nobody here has lost nothing. Like if your home is still standing, your beloved ones, friends, whatever, they are still with you. You are not losing your source of income, but yet you lost your hope in humanity. You lost your insecurity as well. You lost that sense of insecurity, and let me say that the education in terms of the kids who already lost 2 academic years in a row because of the ongoing genocide. So everyone lost something here, and nobody. Okay, we are celebrating, but it doesn't mean we are celebrating out of joy. We are celebrating out of grief, because eventually we will have that moment to break down, to get that chance to deal with our hardships and our problems that occurred during this genocide.
Shrouq Aila, independent journalist in Gaza. In 2024, she received the International Press Freedom Award from the Committee to Protect Journalists, speaking to us from Deir al-Balah.